This is page 197. This is the Module 7 test review. And we're going to go through just the first 3 sections. If you want to right now go down to section 4, you could write skip. We're basically going to try to do the first 3 sections on this test review, at least on this page. So, page 197. Question number 1. It's a really cool question, by the way. It reads, Charlie runs laps around a track. The table shows how long it takes him to run different numbers of laps. How long would it take Charlie to run 5 laps? Now, if you look for 5 laps, it's not on there. Number of laps is the top term, and 5's not on there. Now, we could squeeze it in, but it's not there. So let me show you several different ways that you could interpret this question. One thing you could do is you could take the information given to you in right here, and we could write 10 minutes for 2 laps, and we could simplify that to what's called a unit rate. 10 minutes divided by 2 laps would be 5 minutes for 1 lap. Now, how does this help us answer this question? Well, the question asks about how long it takes Charlie to run 5 laps. So you could then simply multiply by 5, and you would get 5 laps, and the time would be 25 minutes. And that's the answer, it's 25 minutes. Now, that's not the only way to get this answer. There's multiple ways to do this. A different way to get this answer would be to take this information right here, and we're going to interpret that what that information is. It says 50 minutes for 10 laps. And we're going to say, well, we need to get to 5 laps. And the reason I took that information right there is because I recognized that I don't want to know 10 laps, I want to know 5 laps. Well, I know that 10 laps divided by 2 is 5 laps. And so you'd simply divide 50 minutes divided by 2. 50 divided by 2 is 25 minutes. Again, that's not the only way to do it, but that's 2 really good methods. Let's go ahead and move on. You might have had your own different method, and that's fine too. But let's go ahead and move on to the next section. 7.2 is solving proportionality problems. I'm going to use a whiteboard on these as well. Number 2 reads, Emily is entering a bicycle race for charity. Her mother pledges 40 cents for every 0 and 25/100ths mile she bikes. If Emily bikes 15 miles, how much will her mother donate? So let's go ahead and write this out as a proportion. And I don't think this is going to be as hard as you think. Let me show you what I would do. So I would take this information given to you, which is she makes 40 cents. For every 25/100ths miles. I'm going to put miles as my second term. Now, one thing you could do is put 15 miles right here, but a lot of people wouldn't know how to take 25/100ths and put it into 15. So watch what I'm going to do instead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to notice that 25/100ths of a mile, if I simply multiplied it by 4, would be how much? Would be 1. 25/100, it's like 25 cents. What's 25 cents times 4? It's $1. So 25/100ths times 4 would be 1 mile. Does that make sense? I hope it does. If you multiply 25/100ths by 4, you have to multiply 40 cents by 4. 40 cents times 4 is $1.60. Now what am I going to do? Well, the question asked me to figure out how much she earns if she bikes 15 miles. So I'm going to put 15 miles right here, and I'm going to ask myself, how do I get from 1 mile to 15 miles? I multiply by 15. So I'm kind of doing 2 steps, which is okay. So to get my price here, I'm going to do $1.60 times 15. Five times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 0, 0, 14, 24, 1, 2, 1, 2, $24. And that is the answer. It's $24. All right, let's move on. Number 3. Rob is saving to buy a new MP3 player. For every $15 he earns babysitting, he saves $6. On Saturday, Rob earned $75 babysitting. How much money did he save? I'm emphasizing those words earns and save because those are the two things we're comparing. We're comparing his earnings to his savings. So I'm going to write those out. I always think it's really important to label your work as you go to keep everything straight. So let's reread it. I always think it's important to reread too. For every $15 he earns, he saves $6. On Saturday, Rob earned, that means it's going to be a first term, $75. Now, if you're good with your facts, you know that 15 goes into 75. If you're not so good at your facts, you need to check a multiplication chart. And you'll notice that 15 times 5 is 75. So 6 times 5 is $30, which is the unknown number. And that's the answer. How much money did he save? He saved $30. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and finish with section 7.3. And we may need our conversion chart. Do you remember this chart from page 186? When you get ready to take the Module 7 unit test, you're going to want to have this page handy in your book, or I've even seen some kids cut it out and then use it on the test. So we may reference this in just a minute. So we are on 7.3 within measurement systems. Convert each measurement. Number 4 is meters to centimeters. Now, I have that one memorized. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. And I need to figure out how many centimeters are in 18 meters. So I'm going to multiply by 18. 1 times 18 is 18. 100 times 18 is 1800. 18 times 1 is 18 with 2 zeros. It's 1800. In other words, it's 1,800. And that is the answer, 1,800 centimeters. Let's check out number 5. I might be able to just save that and make space and do number 5 like this. Number 5, do you remember pounds to ounces? Pounds to ounces is right here. 1 pound. Oops. 1 pound is 16 ounces. 1 pound is 16 ounces. I need to figure out 5 pounds. Well, to get from 1 pound to 5 pounds, I multiply by 5. So to get to my unknown number of ounces, I'm going to multiply by 5. You could use a multiplication chart to multiply by 5, or you can just go like this. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 3 is 5, plus 3 is 8. It's 80. That's the answer. 5 pounds is 80 ounces. Six quarts to fluid ounces. Let's go find quarts to fluid ounces. I want to point this one out to you just in case it appears on the test. That is a capacity, isn't it, right here. It's actually not on there. Check it out. A cup is 8 fluid ounces, but we're trying to get from quarts to fluid ounces. So check this out. We need to figure out how many fluid ounces are in a quart, and we know that 1 cup is 8. 2 cups would be 16. See this right here? See this 2 cups right here? 2 cups would be 16 fluid ounces. And then, and that's 1 pint. So 2 pints would be 32 fluid ounces. I think I need to go through that one more time to show you how I got 32. So what I'm trying to get from is quarts to fluid ounces, because that's what the question asks. And I have quarts on here, and I have fluid ounces on here, but I don't have the conversion between quarts and fluid ounces right now. So check out what I'm going to do. I know that 1 cup is 8 ounces, and right here this says 2 cups. So I doubled it to get 16 ounces. 16 fluid ounces. So then, this is 1 pint. See this right here? 1 pint is 16 ounces. And this has 2 pints. So 2 pints is to take 16 ounces and double it, which would be 32 fluid ounces. And so it says right here, 1 quart is equal to 32 fluid ounces. So that's our conversion. Definitely tricky. 1 quart is 32 fluid ounces. And I need to figure out 6 quarts. Well, how do I get from 1 quart to 6 quarts? I multiply by 6, so I need to multiply 32 times 6. Probably could do that mentally by doing 30 times 6 is 180, and 2 times 6 is 12. 180 and 12 is 192, and that's going to be right. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. It's 192. That one's just a little bit tricky because we didn't have the conversion readily available, but that is okay. All right, so now we need to convert between liters and milliliters for number 7. And what I know is that there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. And I need to get to 9 liters, so I need to multiply by 9. If you multiply by 9, you would get 9,000 milliliters. That's the answer, 9,000. Okay, we're going to stop there. This is the conclusion of page 197. The next video will be page 198.